So Vin Diesel says at one point, "I don't care about dying. I only care about protecting the people I love." Bro, you can't do that if you're dead. Hey everyone, let's talk about the bewildering labyrinth that is fastX, the latest but definitely not the greatest film in the Fast and the Furious franchise. If you've been eagerly anticipating a thrilling joyride with gut-wrenching twists and turns and a really great plot to match, then I'm sorry to tell you, this isn't it. So fasten those seatbelts and let's jump into this cinematic conundrum that is fastX. Let's go. Over many missions and against impossible odds, Dom Toretto and his family have outsmarted, outnerved, and outdriven every foe in their path. Now they confront the most lethal opponent they've ever faced, a terrifying threat emerging from the shadows of the past, who's fueled by blood revenge, and who is determined to shatter this family and destroy everything and everyone that Dom loves forever. All right, so fastX is an extraordinary cinematic enigma. It's a mishmash of disjointed action scenes that seemingly disregard any semblance of a plot. With every second that passed, I just found myself in a constant state of bewilderment. It was like the writers wanted to just, their only goal was cram in as many high-octane scenes as you possibly can while utterly neglecting narrative continuity. And I know what you're thinking. Diz, this is a Fast and Furious film. It's supposed to be like this. It's self-aware. It makes fun of itself. Guys, at what point do we stop accepting this? The more that we allow these self-aware films to permeate the cinematic landscape, the worse off we all are. The plot, assuming one can generously label it as such, left viewers completely lost. We hopped from one chaotic action scene to another, each making less sense than the last and contributing absolutely nothing to an overall story arc. The storyline, if you can even call it that, possessed the disjointed continuity of a fever dream brought on by a questionable late-night burrito. Don't eat too close to bedtime, folks. It causes weird dreams and you don't sleep as well. It was abundantly clear. There was a goal here. The writers had a goal, okay? They wanted viewers to walk away from this movie remembering two words: family and legacy. These themes were repeatedly drilled into the heads of the viewers with the subtlety of a sledgehammer. It honestly felt like the writers wanted to create some type of drinking game to get all the viewers so drunk that by the time they're like 30%, 40% into the movie, they're just hammered. And then they won't know that they're watching one of the worst movies ever made. Now, you may be thinking, well, if the story's that bad, there's always that Fast and Furious humor in there, right? No. I was in a packed theater, like almost completely full. I promise you, I'm not lying. I didn't hear a single person laugh at any of the humor throughout the movie. The only noise I heard all night was some dude a couple rows behind me that like legitimately needs to go to the doctor. He sounded like he was dying. He was coughing up a lung. I don't know what was going on. Maybe it was a popcorn kernel. That dude was struggling for 2 hours. But there was no laughing. I take that back. There were some people laughing at the guy's coughing noises because I'm telling you, it was rough. But nobody laughed at the movie. Okay, let's talk about Jason Momoa's role as Dante, the antagonist here that really just felt like they had no real thought or idea into like bringing a new character to life with a new story. So they were like, let's go back to the last movie that people actually kind of liked, Fast 5, and let's just throw him in there and we'll give him a kind of a little bit of a backstory. But yeah, that's good enough. His portrayal bore the hallmarks of a half-hearted attempt at creating a Joker-esque character, yet this attempt fell so flat that the comparison became a disservice to anybody who has ever played an actual Joker character. Dante lacks any compelling motive beyond my family over your family, bro. There's no depth. There's no anything, really. There's just weirdness. There's a scene, and this isn't really a spoiler because it literally didn't add anything to the story at all, but there's a scene where he's painting toenails of two dead dudes that he's taped their eyelids open. They're like trying to, I guess, hammer home like, this guy's twisted. but it was just bad. It's so bad. Okay, if you forced me to name one redeeming quality of this movie, I guess it was John Cena's role. And I'm not claiming that his performance was even that good, but amidst the cringe-inducing scenes, Cena's portrayal felt like a merciful reprieve, a small beacon of endurance in an otherwise turbulent sea of chaos. His character at least didn't make me want to shake my head every moment he was on screen, which unfortunately was a remarkably high bar for this movie. Perhaps the most alarming and depressing revelation I've had since watching this movie is that there's multiple parts to it. And I knew this. I told my buddy I was with at the theater, there's gonna be another one of these. But then I get home and it looks like there's gonna be 3 of them. This is a trilogy ending to a 10-part series. And I can't figure out why that is, but I have an idea. It's called fastX. It's got Vin Diesel. There's gonna be 3 of them. So it's gonna be Fast XXX by the 3rd. So the whole time, he just wanted to play XXX again, I think. Maybe. That, or another idea I had, and this one, I like this one. It's possible that the entire Fast franchise is going to cross over into the Pacifier universe, and the stories that we've been watching unfold are bedtime stories he's been telling the kids that he's babysitting. And the reason they get worse over time, I'm a father, so I get it when kids are like, tell me that story or tell me another story about that character. Like, it gets harder and harder to tell stories. So you got it. They just get weirder and weirder. So maybe that explains why in the beginning it was like, oh, they're street racers and they got to get to a quarter mile in under 10 seconds. And then at the end, they're going into space and whatever this movie was. Yep, that's the only acceptable answer. That's the only... If that's how the franchise ends, I'll be like, that was really good. What? They pulled out the multiverse card. In the end, this movie left me yearning for the early days of the Fast franchise. I really like those movies. They could have made 10 movies about street racing and I would have been totally good with it. But here we are. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please drop those down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing for more like this. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.